So we'll do a quick recap. So I've kind of got notes here, and maybe Christine can fill in as I go. But number 1, we're remaining the tax-free allowance at the 1/3. Number 2 is the annual wage adjustment to CPI and an additional adjustment, same as non-union, which is similar to what the county has. So we'll make sure that we have some proper wording for that. Number 3, the mayor's remuneration will include the ORPC, and we'd like it stated in the bylaw that the mayor is part of that committee. Number 4, the Reeve Council remuneration, the base, will be the $13,000 plus the $1,800. Yes, sorry.
Going back to number 3, I think there was some discussion about the Ottawa Energy Solutions as well. So
yeah,
I think
that will be at another time.
At another time, but I mean that should go in under that same point.
Yeah, it'll come back as a separate. Well,
okay.
It'll be included in the overall bylaw, but it will come back as a separate discussion, because I think this whole bylaw has to come back to a committee meeting.
No, as long as it's not forgotten, because I think that needs to be brought up as well.
Is that ORES?
Yes.
Okay. Christine?
So I won't put anything into this bylaw at the moment about ORES until we have another discussion at a future meeting, and I'm...
Maybe just put it in brackets or something.
Okay.
Okay, just so we don't forget it. Number 4, the base rate of $13,000 plus the $1,800, and there will be no chair on number 5. So number 5, the chair is removed. Number 6, outside boards and committee come back. Number 7 is to come back. Number 8, the CRA mileage rate, boards and committees to come back, and leave as is to go forward. And that will be a separate bylaw for expenses, as well as number 9 with training and conferences, that is to come back, will be included in the mileage, and number 10 will be included with the mileage as well, and within the county, $45 with receipts. Outside the county, $75, no receipts. And the benefits are to come back at a later date as well. So is that a good recap? And what will happen is a bylaw could be prepared, and then we'll discuss it at a committee meeting. Now, do you want that committee meeting in September, because there's no real rush to it, or do you want it in the July? I think the July meeting is probably full at this point, and then I'm not sure about the August meeting. Chris, Councillor Olmsted?
Just to clarify, so point number 7 regarding the meeting per diem, is that one of the items we're discussing in a committee meeting in whatever, September? Or?
Come back.
Great,
yeah.
thank you.
With definitions of what the meetings are and what is getting paid for, what isn't.
Thank you.
Councillor Rigier.
I agree with you, Chair, that we should definitely bring this back in September. Everyone's on vacations, July and August, and we've got shortened meetings ourselves. So I would be in favor of September to bring it back.
September 7th, this will come back on committee meeting. Okay. Reeve Miller.
Yeah, in the early going when we were first come in here, I was against spending money on Bruce to do this. I take it all back, every word of it. Bruce, you did a bang-up job. It was very educational, and I understand now. Thank you.
Councillor Olmsted?
And I think I was the one shoulder to shoulder with the Reeve, and I'm still shoulder to shoulder with him. Absolutely, this was very refreshing, very eye-opening, and I think it should be done every 4 to 5 years, maybe every term of office. But I think it's really money well spent. Thank you.
Yes, you may.
you may wanna pass a resolution that you do it in the last term of every council, so that it's set for the future term of council, so then when you go to an election, people know and understand what the compensation model is. And then you don't put it on the shoulders of the new elected officials about anything you wanna change. So just give that consideration in terms of the timing and the cycle of what's there, because new councilors coming to the table right away, the first thing that they do, if they're looking at their own compensation, optics aren't very good, and it's not very healthy, so just a consideration of that.
Councillor McLaughlin.
That was exactly what I was gonna say, because I think it needs to be set by the previous council, either the last year or the second last year. If at this one, I would think you could leave it until the last year of the next term. We don't need to look at it again, but Bruce has a very, very valid point that it needs to be set by the previous council before the new council comes in. Because I remember that discussion when we first started, and everybody was, oh, well, no, it needs to be looked at, but it needs to be looked at by the council that's going out, not the new council coming in.
Bruce?
So the only other recommendation I'd give consideration to, some councils are reticent to adjust your council enumeration just before an election if they're gonna run again. So you may wanna give consideration to the third year versus the fourth year. So just, as you look at your calendar, you're just mindful about how it reflects on you, because, oh yeah, she just passed the resolution for a big raise and you wanna vote her back in. So you don't wanna have that perspective and that optic in the event there are other people that are gonna continue to run going forward. So timing is really important. Give thought to how you wanna do that. So maybe the third year is more appropriate, and you could do a third year for implementation for the first year of the council.
Right.
So calendar is very important to look at and see how it affects both you and the incoming players.
That sounds good. Okay, so we do have a motion mover and a seconder to revise the council remuneration. Can we table this until the September meeting as well? Okay. And then that is it for that part of the council meeting or the committee meeting. What I would like to do is go into a closed session about an identifiable individual, and perhaps we can take a quick little break and then go make sure that we go into a closed session. Everybody okay with that? Yes? Councillor McLaughlin? Everybody's good? Okay. So, we stopped. July 13th, I believe, and August in the middle of the month. July 6th.